So urban areas are like, in Johannesburg, for example, face frequent, long-lasting outages. We've seen that this past week. For more on this now, we're joined by Professor Margesa Dinka. He's a civil engineer and water specialist from the University of Johannesburg. Prof, thank you so much indeed for joining us. We'll keep that number on the line for you as the viewer. If you'd like to call in and talk to us about your water woes in your area, that number is 011-714-0661 and 011-714-0662. Let's bring in Professor Dinka now. Prof, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We do appreciate your time. So look, I can only but imagine that this is a combination of issues, also the capacity of these entities to be able to pump water for all those in need. What are we looking at in terms of the extent of the problem and a culmination of some of these issues that you might be able to speak to us about?
Thanks for inviting me to talk about this critical and complex issue. The water supply problem in Gauteng is a combination of different factors. So on one side, there is a water shortage. Water is not physically available. But at current stage, the Val Dam is almost full, and there is no water problem because there was a sufficient rainfall in this season. So the other problems might be because of the water losses in the water supply or the water distribution systems. There are a high water leakage. There are illegal connections. There are what we call water theft or water mafias also. So I'm not talking in detail about that. The other problem is about the aging of water supply infrastructures. Most of the infrastructures are very old. According to say the SABC infrastructure report in 2022, the bulk water supply infrastructure in South Africa is at category D-. That means is at risk of failure. So most of the bulk water supply infrastructures are very old and they require replacement, and the replacement requires a huge investment. So it might require more than 400 billion rand for South Africa for replacement of all the pipes only.
Prof, you speak about a number of issues. Apologies for interjecting there. You speak about ailing infrastructure. You speak about water theft, water mafias, as we've come to know them. We're also there's another issue as well of water, being redirected to new developments. That's also an issue that we could possibly speak about with the expansion of areas, for example, in Gauteng. There is water that needs to be directed. If you have these entities that are unable to deal with the supply or the demand of water as it stands, there are still these new developments that also need the supply of water. And we're not talking about infrastructure that is doing too well. You spoke about ailing infrastructure as well.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. There are new developmental areas. There are new extensions also. When they are extending to new developments or new water demand, the supply is the same, but it will affect the pressure distribution, so they cannot maintain the required pressure and the water supply to different communities. That's one of the main problem. And there is also inefficient water utilization and management. There is high water consumption, by the way, in most of the cities in South Africa. Even in Pretoria and Johannesburg, the water consumption is more than 300 liters per capita per day, which is very high compared to other countries. And at the current moment, the water demand is at high peak because of the season. So the water demand is very high, and there's supposed to be equal water supply according to the demand. So there is a problem probably from groundwater and the Joburg water also. It requires coordination between the two water service providers.
Prof, you spoke about a number of issues. You spoke about, just before we crossed to our colleague Lerato, you spoke about aging infrastructure, the fact that the entities need to provide water to a growing number of a population. You also spoke about water. To what extent also do we see the theft of water play a role here? Because there are areas where there are illegal connections that are taking place. And obviously, if you have an entity that supplies water and does not get the amount of money that it's supposed to get for services, that could also be a contributing factor, not taking away, of course, from the fact that these entities seem to be somewhat failing to provide for the residents that need water at this stage.
Thank you again. So if we talk about the water infrastructure, and we said the condition of water infrastructure is not attracting private investors in water sector because it's at poor condition. And sorry to say that it seems the water infrastructure in South Africa is underestimated, underinvested, and or neglected. So there has to be something has to be done to improve the bulk water infrastructure. Regarding the water losses, the water loss in Gauteng or entirely in South Africa is very high. So according to the DWS estimation in 2023, the net revenue water is 47.4%. So this is not acceptable. It's extremely high. These are because of there are a number of leakage in Johannesburg, Pretoria. If you move, you will see a number of leakage. There are illegal connections, and some of them even they are using water, but there is no bill. Maybe because of maybe because of corruptions.
Prof, thank you very much for your time. We really do appreciate it. We hope to get a bit more insights from you. We're really hoping that the situation regarding this water crisis is sorted out. We're also experiencing some of those challenges here in Auckland Park, have had to put in some contingency measures as well. Thank you very much, Prof, for your time. We do appreciate it. All right, a professor from the University of Johannesburg there, Professor Margesa Dinka, who is a water specialist, talking to us about the water crisis that we're seeing in several parts of the country.